It's been 3 months since Blindfire released, so I wanted to go over what I think about the game now and what has changed about the game. I also wanted to recreate my review as I think I can do a lot better now, both with editing and the voiceover. What is Blindfire? Blindfire is an online arena shooter that takes place in the dark. It has a few unique features, including the dark arenas and spectators being able to play a role in the game by messing with the players who are still alive. I was interested for a while because Double 11 had never made an original IP before. All of their previous projects are in collaboration with or ports of other companies' games, for example Rust console, Red Dead Redemption's PC version, etc, etc, etc. So I decided to check out Blindfire when it was released. I was originally skeptical of the idea when I first heard about it, however I wanted to try it anyway, so I asked for a review key and I managed to get one. Let's get into my in-depth review. But first, I just want to mention that my issue from my original review of not being able to play on Steam is now fixed and has been for a while now. And if you do like Blindfire from my review, all their links will be in the description, and if you're a content creator, they have a process to get a review key, so I'll link that as well for you. For the in-depth review, I will split it into subsections which you can use YouTube's chapter system to get to. These sections will be performance, mechanics, visuals, audio, updates / post-launch development, accessibility, UI, community, and an overall portion at the end. Let's start with performance. Since my original review, performance has increased substantially, especially when GPU limited. I can now comfortably play at high settings 1440p instead of low to medium at 1080p, and get still better performance. I do have a good system with a Ryzen 5 7600 and 6700 XT, however getting 100 plus FPS at 1440p is pretty good for that GPU. Overall, performance is very good CPU wise and pretty good GPU wise. Now let's move on to the mechanics. Overall, the mechanics make Blindfire feel unique. The dark arenas create tension and unexpectedness, while the UV lights and traps create ways to know where people are before they know where you are. The spectator mode is also very interesting and unique, as you can interact with traps when you are dead, creating another layer of strategy. Now let's move on to the visuals. Due to the nature of the game, the visuals aren't always seen in the game. However, when they are, they look pretty good. There's no complaints from me. It doesn't look ultra realistic or anything, but you don't expect it to, and it doesn't have to be a good looking game. It looks great and the art style is very cool, quite cyberpunky, which I quite like as well. Now what's the thing most associated with competitive games? Audio. I have no complaints about the audio. The guns sound quite good. The footsteps have seemed accurate to me, so far at least. I like how many of the traps make sounds just in case you miss the visual, or if you are visually impaired. The menu music is also quite good, which is always nice. I mean, it's always nice to have in the background some good music. You've already heard how performance was a lot better than at launch, but what about other updates? Well, they've been coming pretty fast. Apart from in December due to the Christmas holiday period, of course. There have been 5 updates since release, 2 of which have been content updates, with the biggest update yet coming later this month. However, it's not out at the time I am recording this portion of the video. The features added include new traps, weapons, new game modes, bots to fill lobbies, private lobbies, Elite 10 leaderboards, and a bunch of fixes and massive performance improvements. This is including the January update. Overall, I would say it's going pretty well so far, and I'm excited to see what continued support is like. Accessibility is something that's hard to judge for me, as I'm not too sure about it. I don't need any accessibility features. However, there are some blind players in the community, and D11 is very open to suggestions for accessibility features they can add. They are very committed to accessibility, so hopefully they can keep improving this for more and more people to be able to play and be able to play well. Now let's move on to the UI. I don't really have too many thoughts on the UI. It's good enough that I don't notice it being bad, but I am by no means a UI expert. I quite like the ammo count being on the gun instead of UI element, however. Other games have done this before, but I still think it's good to have a bit of the UI in the environment like that, and they have talked about that on one of the dev streams before, and I quite like that. Now I've gone over most of the aspects of the game, but what about the community? The community is absolutely fantastic. The Discord has a few active members who are all very nice. The devs are also quite active in the Discord, and the bug report forum and talented devs channels are extremely good for game related issues or feature suggestions or anything like that. Unfortunately though, this is where we also get into the bad part of the game, the player size. I'm hoping the massive content update has or will have a good increase on player count, but at the time of writing before the update, Blindfire has a very small number of active players, which can make it quite hard to find a match, unfortunately. Overall, Blindfire is a great game in my opinion. The mechanics create a fun and unique experience. It's especially fun with friends and will be a great LAN game or party game. As long as it continues to get updates and more players come along, I think it could have a long future in the gaming industry. I would at least encourage everyone to try the 1 hour trial on Xbox or the Microsoft Store for PC players. It's not an expensive game either, so it's not a big investment if you don't play it a lot. Basically everyone I've seen that's played Blindfire has said it's good, and the devs play it a lot as well, so that's a pretty big endorsement. Well, I hope this serves as a better review than my first one. If you have any feedback, comment below, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. By the way, go follow me on Twitch.